So cis diols, the reaction is very fast. When we compare these two, the reaction is 300 times faster in the case of cis. Trans-diol cleavage, it is slow, but still the reaction works. Why? Because we don't need any cyclic transition intermediate, cyclic intermediate. So the reaction also works for rigid cyclic trans 1, 2 diols. Yeah, please take a snapshot. I'm going to change this. Right, I'm changing this. I'll give you one more example on cleavage of trans 1,2 diols. When we have a cis diol like this is a cis diol. We can write the chair conformation also. So this is cis conformation, OH above the plane, and this also OH above the plane. Okay. Right. When we use LTA or when we use sodium periodate, this reaction will work. It is a fast reaction. It is a fast reaction. This reaction will work for the cleavage of 1, 2 diols. So the product will be these two carbonyls, right? So when we have cis compound, yes, cis compound will undergo a very fast cleavage of 1, 2 diols. We can use LTA or sodium periodate in case of cis. Absolutely, there is no problem because cyclic intermediate is possible in case of cis compounds. But in case of trans compounds, trans compounds, it is not possible to have a cyclic intermediate. Sorry, this is below the plane, this is above the plane, right? We can use only NTA, LTA. Okay, sodium periodate will not be used for this cleavage of trans 1,2 diazo. We can use only LTA. Of course, it is a slow reaction, right? This is a fast, this is a slow reaction. Okay, we can write chair conformation also. Writing a trans conformation is very easy. This is above the plane, this is below the plane. Okay, this is the difference. You can remember this example. Only cis can be cleaved by LTA or sodium periodate, but trans can only be cleaved by LTA. So this is a rigid cyclic trans diode. Next, we will see ozonolysis. What is ozonolysis? Ozonolysis is the cleavage of a double bond, that means cleavage of an alkene to generate a dicarbonyl. Cleavage of a double bond to give, that means this double bond will completely break and we will have a C double bond over here, a C double bond over here. We can have aldehyde, we can have ketone. If two are alkyls, then we will have ketone. If one is hydrogen, we will have aldehyde. We can also oxidize the aldehyde further to carboxylic acid under same condition. Okay, so what we use is ozone gas. This is electrophilic in nature. Ozone gas is electrophilic in nature, so the double bond must be electron rich system. We will use some oxidizing agents or reducing agent along with this ozone gas. Along with this, we will use some oxidizing agent if we want carboxylic acid. If we want only carbonyl, we will use some mild reducing agents. Or if we want alcohols, we can use a strong, we can use some strong reducing agents. Okay, I'll give all those details. What is ozonolysis? Ozonolysis is the cleavage of an alkene to give two carbonyls. To give two carbonyls. How it will work? I'll give the mechanism. It is an alkene. This is the structure of ozone. This oxygen will be negatively charged. This oxygen will be positively charged. So this will undergo a cyclization. It is 2,3 dipolar cycloaddition. Dipolar cycloaddition. This O minus, negatively charged O minus, will attack on alkene. So this carbon-carbon double bond will be polarized toward this carbon, and this carbon negative charge will attack on this oxygen. Because this oxygen is positively charged, it will take the bonding electron, so it becomes neutral. Okay, so this is 2 carbon system, this is 3 atom system, so that is why we say it is 2,3 dipolar cycloaddition. I will give many more examples on 2,3 dipolar cycloadditions when we discuss pericyclic reactions. Okay, right. So what we are getting here, we are getting a ozonide, a 5-membered ring ozonide with 3 oxygens. This is called primary ozonide. This is primary ozonide. Primary ozonide. Then what happens? This primary ozonide will rearrange to secondary ozonide. How it will rearrange? First, it will break. A carbon-carbon bond will be breaking. A primary ozonide, carbon-carbon bond will break. So it generates a C double bond O. Then it will, we will polarize these oxygen-oxygen bonding electrons to this oxygen. So it gets O minus, and we will polarize this lone pair towards carbon. Okay. So this oxygen will polarize its lone pair towards carbon. So it generates carbon-oxygen double bond. The carbon-carbon bond will break down. We will have this carbonate. Okay. So the product is this is plus, this is minus, as well as C double bond O. This is the product. Okay. When we break this, when we decompose primary ozonide, this is the product. Then again this will undergo 2,3 dipolar cycloaddition. So O minus will attack on carbonyl carbon. Carbonyl carbon is positively charged, right? Electrophilic in nature. So better we will redraw this. Okay, better we will redraw this so that we can explain it with little bit more clarity. So we will redraw it. How we will redraw it? So this is plus, this is minus. Then I will redraw it like this. Just carbonyl is reversed. So O minus will attack on carbonyl carbon because carbonyl carbon is electropositive. Then these bonding electrons will be polarized towards oxygen, and O minus will attack on this carbon, and the bonding electrons are polarized towards oxygen because oxygen is positively charged. So when we polarize these 2 electrons, it will be neutralized. So the product is, again it is 2,3 dipolar cycloaddition, but the product is different. There is an oxygen inserted between the 2 carbons, right? The 2 carbons, one is here, other one is here, but the an oxygen is inserted between them. It is called secondary ozonide. It is called secondary ozonide. It appears in blue color, light blue color, and remember it is explosive. It is explosive. Yeah, you can take this notes. I will be explaining about the ozonolysis reaction. Ozone gas is highly dangerous and it is even explosive. So we will generate ozone gas using an ozonizer. So an instrument will be there. we will attach oxygen cylinder to that ozonizer. So that ozonizer will generate ozone gas. So ozone gas again we will attach to the reaction mixture. Okay, right. When we add ozone gas to a double bond, it generates a primary ozonide which will rearrange to secondary ozonide. Secondary ozonide is in blue color. So mostly we will do the reactions in a transparent RB. So we can clearly observe this blue color. Okay. Then one more caution about ozonolysis is ozonolysis is an explosive reaction. If you are not careful enough, it may explode. Okay. So we must be very careful. So again, as I said, in the case of osmium tetroxide, ozonolysis reaction will also done in presence of some senior student, and it should be done in well ventilated fume hood. Okay, so be careful whenever you are doing ozonolysis reaction or osmium tetroxide reaction or LAH reductions or yeah, Birch reductions, so sodium in ammonia. We must be very careful because except osmium tetroxide, all other reactions are explosive. Osmium tetroxide releases poisonous fumes. So these reactions must be performed with the help of senior students, and we must also inform our all other lab mates so that they will also be little bit careful. So ozone gas is electrophilic in nature. That means the alkene should be electron rich system. So more electron rich double bonds will easily undergo ozonolysis compared to less electron rich double bonds. Yeah, I'm changing this. Please take a snapshot. Right. So I'll give you more examples and variations in ozonolysis reaction. When we add ozone gas to an alkene, what we will get? We will get a ozonide. Yeah, one more point, whether the reaction is proceeding or not. So that is also can be visually, we can tell whether the reaction is proceeding or not by just looking at the reaction. Okay, so because the secondary ozonide is in blue color, if the blue color is generating in the reaction mixture, yeah, that is a confirmation that reaction is happening. Okay, then how do we say whether the reaction is completed or not? When all the blue color is disappeared, then we can say the reaction is completed. Okay, so during ozonolysis we don't take TLC analysis for whether the reaction is happening or not, whether the reaction is completed or not. Okay, purely it will be on visual confirmation. Okay, when the blue color appears, yes, reaction is progressing. When the blue color is completely disappeared, then the reaction is completed. So that is the visual confirmation, right? The ozonide can be explored in different ways. Okay, when we use strong reducing agents along with ozone, when we use strong reducing agents, strong reducing agents means sodium borohydride or lithium aluminum hydride. When we use this type of strong reducing agents, what happened? The generated carbonyls, whether it is aldehyde or ketone, they will undergo reduction to alcohols. So we will get a diol because we can reduce aldehyde or ketone with sodium borohydride or lithium aluminum hydride. So the generated carbonyls will be reduced to diol. Okay, when we use mild reducing agents, along with ozone gas, the mild reducing agents means dimethyl sulfide, triphenyl phosphine, or zinc acetic acid, or potassium iodide methanol. Okay, I'll give some more examples during the examples. Okay, then what happens? These mild reducing agents will not reduce the generated carbonyls. Okay, so whatever, if it is generating aldehyde, the aldehyde will be there. If it is generating ketone, the ketone will be there. Because we are having a hydrogen here, it will generate aldehydes. Okay, right. Similarly, if we use oxidizing agents, when we use oxidizing agents means hydrogen peroxide or silver oxide, chromic acid, or peracids, peroxy acids. Peracids means peracids or sodium periodate. When we use all these oxidizing agents, what happens? If it generates a ketone, it does not problem. Okay, ketone will be there. But if it is generating an aldehyde, then aldehyde can be further oxidized to carboxylic acid. Aldehyde will be further oxidized to carboxylic acid. Okay, so that means we will have di. In this case, it is giving two aldehydes. So the two aldehydes will be oxidized with oxidizing agent. So we will be getting dicarboxylic acids. Dicarboxylic acids. So here it will be dicarbonate. Okay, so this is how we can explore ozonolysis. Okay, so when we use strong reducing agents along with ozone gas, we will be getting a diol, because these reducing agents will reduce the aldehyde or ketone generated during the ozonolysis. When we use mild reducing agents like dimethyl sulfide, triphenyl phosphine, zinc acetic acid, potassium iodide, methanol, there are some more mild reducing agents. So they will generate carbonyl, either aldehyde or ketone, okay, based on the structure. When we use oxidizing agents like hydrogen peroxide or silver oxide, chromic acid, para-acid, sodium periodate, then what happens? The generated aldehyde, ketone will not be further oxidized, okay? Because ketone is having, both sides it is having a carbon. So that cannot be oxidized, but aldehyde, it is having hydrogen on the other side. So hydrogen can be oxidized, right? Hydrogen can be replaced with oxygen. So what happens when we have aldehydes? When we use oxidizing agents, these oxidizing agents will further oxidize aldehyde to carboxylic acids. So this is how we can explore the ozonolysis products. I'll give relative reactivity of double bonds with ozone. Ozonolysis is an electrophilic reaction. So we must have some electron rich double bonds. So if we have some electron releasing groups, either plus M groups or plus I groups, then ozonolysis is easy. Here we have plus M group and plus I group, methyl group is plus I group. So it is more reactive than this because it is having only plus I groups and it is tetra substituted. Then disubstituted is compared to tetra substituted, disubstituted is a slow reaction. And in the disubstituted, yeah, we don't have difference between cis and trans. Then it is mono substituted. Then it is a compound with some electron withdrawing groups, either ester or any carbonyl or nitro or nitrile or ammonium salt. Okay, so these are electron releasing substituents. This is electron withdrawing substituent. So as I said earlier, more electron rich double bond will undergo fast ozonolysis when compared to less electron rich double bond. I'll just give one or two examples for this. When we do ozonolysis, what is the product? It is a dicarbonyl, right? So a carbonyl here, a carbonyl here, because it is a mild reducing agent. Of course, it is the product will be ketone, so there is no use of using oxidizing agents. It is ketone, and it is a mild reducing agent, so we will get ketone. This diketone can be treated with potassium hydroxide, methanol, so it undergoes aldol condensation. What is the product here? What is the product here? It generates an anion here, potassium hydroxide. It will undergo condensation with this carbon. So when we look at the ring size, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 membered ring. Other side, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 membered ring. So it is a product of 5 and 7 membered rings fused together. Okay. So this will be carbonide, and this anion is condensed with this carbonyl, so it generates a double. So this is the product.